Hey guys, this is Kid Rob speaking, and today we are back in Rock God Tycoon. And today is the episode where I'm actually going to show you what the songwriting is all about. And yeah, for that, let's just continue here. We just finished our contracts in a leisurely fashion. We're almost up to 69%. No, almost up to 70. We are at 69% band rating. Things are going really well. And we won an award first year for Best Album. So I think it's safe to say I figured this game out, and it's definitely not a challenge. And no, we're not in easy mode. This is the standard game mode. And yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about first, just design-wise, what is pretty lackluster is how the stat progression works. And that is in a very, very linear fashion. So you know of their stats that they have these 4 stats, and they are going between 0 and 100. And once they reach 100, they stop improving. So far so good. And that's alright. But the thing is that the progression is perfectly linear. There is no diminishing returns to anything you do. It's just you get straight up to 100, you hit a wall, and that's it. That means, and also, like what is worse, so this could be acceptable if other things are slowing you down. That is very much not the case, because with infinite funds, as we have them practically right now, you're not slowing down, you're speeding up. So you're getting better faster the more time passes. Because at the start you still have to do busking, which doesn't improve any of your stats. So that is kind of a hindrance to it all, but later on you can just practice as much as you want. And in my previous playthrough, where I got all the achievements in the game straight up in my first try of a game, I just, in the later stages, just put them to practice whatever skill they didn't have at 100 yet and made them perfect. So it's kind of boring. We are already at 69 rating after just a year. That's amazing. Well, so it makes sense that the skills would advance pretty fast at the start. All of them. Pretty fast. It doesn't take much to get to a decent level, but then it takes a lot of skill and a lot of perseverance to get to a place that is world class. From decent or even from very good. It takes a massive amount of effort to get to world class. As you know, there's the saying it takes about 10,000 hours of work on something until you're a true master in what you're doing. And I think that is something we should have considered here too. It does take several years. On the other hand, you could say, well, we don't want the game to last too long. And then I call absolute bullshit on you if you say that. Because that is not what this game is about, obviously, because of what I'm going to show to you. And what I'm going to show to you is how the game wants you to write songs. And we're going to do this once. First, let us create a song normally, and we call it... he can join the gang to write a not the best song. How about that? And we let Rob Rock write the song. It's called Ravages of Time. And of course, not the best 41, which is not the song we're going to write. Anyway, so let's wait until the song is finished. One more thing while we're waiting for the songs to finish. One more important thing about this. Why is this even a thing? I mean, yes, there are perks and traits, but as you did see, if every single person or player in this game can get to 100 in every single stat without there being any inhibition towards that, then why would you ever need to fire anyone if that is the case? That doesn't make any sense. So why is it that everyone can reach 100 in every stat? There should be limits or some kind of potential to the various players, where the potential at the start is somewhat indicated to you, very roughly, like how talented that person is, and that should give you a feel for what they would be good at. For instance, it could be that one of them is like truly excellent at musical skill and playing the instrument, but they suck as a star. They're just, yeah, they sit in the cellar too much and in the basement too much and play, and they're not good at songwriting either. So that would be an interesting thing, where you have to try and fit together a list of members that form a good unity, where they complement each other, where even though they are limited in some things, the band as a whole stands out. And that way you can't completely dominate everything after just like 2 to 3 years. Yeah, that's how it goes there. So that is very unfortunate. It's very, very much a basic implementation. That is what I would implement as a prototype, just to see if things are working, like stat progression, if that is actually working. And then I would start to fine-tune it so that it makes sense from a gameplay point of view. And that is where they either had to stop or wanted to stop, or they didn't notice. I'm not sure. With development, all kinds of things can happen. Maybe this is their prototype. This game we are playing here might be their prototype to just see if things worked out. It certainly feels like it from a game design standpoint. It's all very direct and not that thought out. So yeah, let's take a look at the songwriting now then. Okay, here it is. Would you like to open the song editor and create the song? Yes, we would. Okay, so here it is. We can choose the tempo, and as a base thing, 80, 120, 180, and ravages of time. Let's make it a good 120 beat. I like to compose in 120, not in this game, but in general. 120 is such a nice thing because it is attuned towards the human stride. You're walking, and that gives it a very nice rhythm, which is very easy to follow. Because your step is basically at 60 BPM, and that means that you will naturally, with your steps, while walking, fall into the rhythm, which makes it really strong. If you're just walking and listening to it, it's really cool. I walk a little faster, usually around 65 to 70. So yes, and then you double that, and then you get like the multiplier is just a factor 2 there. It's all good. So let's compose in 120. I like that. And you have 3 tracks and a lot of time here, 3 minutes something. Okay. And there is no auto-generate feature. Song creation, they do have a little bit of a help thing here. And it just gives you the basics. It's all good. I knew about them, so that's fine. And now we are going to start out. Let's try to make something that is not entirely stupid. It's very basic. So when you get into it, this is for instance guitar, and oh wait, was it really guitar? Back, guitar doesn't have intros. Doesn't have intros at 120. What? It does have breaks. We can always use a break as an intro. Yeah. So if you right-click it, it just plays you a preview, and that's kind of nice. Main riffs. Well, that's not very metally. You see how many beats there are in here? Ah, this would be so nice if it was played a little tighter. Listen to it. Ah, that's the problem with many of these. They're kind of cool, but it's just slightly off. Anyway, let's have a look around. I'll try to get familiarized with what we have here, and then we just get started. Alright, I've navigated through this a bit, and so there are two different kinds of pieces. And those are 4-beat pieces and 8-beat pieces. And yeah, so I guess... Oh, by the way, I changed to 80. And that is because the 120s, I couldn't really make anything... yeah, anything that worked, I guess. But couldn't really hear it. It seemed so sloppy. All of these seemed very sloppy in the recording. Oh, I'm not convinced. But anyway, let's start. Okay, how about this one to start out with? And we take this as an actual intro. That could work. Okay, let's try this. Do they even fit together? Ah, somewhat. Okay, let's see if we can make that work with some bass and drums. You see they are marked in a certain way. So here it says 12A, right? And that is such that if you combine it with another 12A, then that will automatically fit. But also it will be a little bit boring, and sometimes it may clash with some transitions. So that's a little tricky to combine them in a way that really fits and that doesn't sound very samey after just a few bars. And then you have different letters as well. I think I might want to see if I have a better variant of this riff that better fits to the break. Okay, I think I've figured out that this one should not be there, so I just delete it out, and this one might work a little better. Well, let's have a listen here. Well, another thing that's very jarring is that these samples don't properly fit together, and you hear some weird noise, a little bit of a clacking noise when you shift bars between samples, and that's definitely not something they wanted. But yeah, unpolished music algorithms, I guess. It's very hard to do, to get music samples to fit together properly, especially if they are so different. But I'm quite happy with this intro, so now let's find a good bass line for this as well. Okay, maybe I figured out something that works a little better. If we shift the drums, the 8 beats of the drum forward into the intro, we can get a bit of a non-standardized break in there, as you see here. Makes it a bit more interesting. Then you can play a bit with the breaks to loosen it up and create a nice progression throughout the first part of the song. So let's have a listen here real quick to see what I'm getting at. And there starts the next loop of this. That could be interesting. Let's see what comes out of it. Okay. After tinkering around for quite a while, I think this intro should work a lot better. And there is some potential here for an interesting shift too, with this break baked in. But have a listen to this. I think there's It's just 21 seconds. And it's had taken me, let me check, how long is my recording going? 41 minutes already. Yes, okay, here we go. Okay, so there will be some kind of shift and then a repeat of this. And then at the end, they should all align perfectly again after this has been repeated. Okay. Another few minutes later, we have arrived at this state. So as you can see, I've repeated the pattern a little bit, but there's so the break A, that is our intro here, and it's repeated there. The break B is in between the sections. We have a bit of a different drum line in between, and then it ends with a quite clear marker as the intro here for the drums to another section, and I don't quite know what that is so far. 36 seconds of length. Let's have a listen. Alright, there you have it. Alright, so what comes after this? Well, let's have a look. Alright, so so far so good. What is happening here? 1C? What's going on there? Has this somehow been... Oh, it might have been moved. I just wanted to show you something new. Oh, and there's something going on here too. Something buggy. Move. Remove this. What's going on? Oh yes! Very buggy indeed. I need to somehow remove these parts. Let's see if I can extract that out. Ah, yep, okay. Now it's deleted. Very nice. I was wondering where they disappeared to. But yes, I think I figured out something pretty awesome here. This is taking so long. Guys, this is taking so long. What is our record time right now? It is 1 minute... 1 minute. 1 hour, 4 minutes. Alright, let's continue on here. I think this will be pretty cool. Let me play it for you what I have as a transition there. So let's start in this break. All right, I think we can work with this. The question is just, is this... There needs to be some kind of follow-up to this one that is not this one. I have to search around a bit, see what fits. Okay, I think I have the next part done. It's not phenomenal, apart from the transition here, which is really cool. Yeah, the second part of this doesn't really fit to the first one when transitioning from the second to the first. I'm not too stoked about that. And then I just placed an outro here because this is a 1 minute song. 1 minute 6. That's impressive. And that is definitely enough for me. As you can see, it does take a while. Let me just check. 1 hour, 21 minutes. Alright, that's how long it takes to write a 1 minute of song that doesn't suck. If you're doing it the first few times, I guess. But then again, I don't see it ever not taking that long of time. Let's have a listen to it all, and you are the judge how good that is. If you like the song, upvote the video. There you have it. The masterpiece of the Gentleman's Agreement. Has nothing to do with gent, but anyway. So, what is the workshop thing? Do they even have that integrated? Let me just check that. Okay, so what happens if I press here? Steam Workshop. Browse. We do browse. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm now out of the game. And what? Random metal song. Oh, okay, just another metal song. Man, that doesn't look too promising. People can upload their songs there. That's maybe interesting, maybe not. Anyway, I think this is a pretty good creation. And now let's go back. Are you sure you want to exit the song editor? No, wait. Save. There's no save dialogue. Can't save it under any other name. So then back. And yes. Would you like to save the song you're currently editing before exiting? Well, yeah, okay. Once more. And now we're back. 1 hour and 30 minutes later. Yay. Okay. So what now? What now? So if we play this song now, I have to try that out. If we play this song now, do we have the option to not simulate? Okay. Everyone is done writing their songs. That sounds good. And now let's just head over here into the studio. Firstbound Studios. And have a date where we practice Ravages of Time. Rehearsal. Yeah, book that in. So these are the controls, the actual controls of this. So basically a Guitar Hero thing. And oh my god, what am I supposed to say about that? I mean, okay, yeah, why not do it now? Okay, why not go through this now? So this is the big thing, right? They've made two games, two separate games that cannot be played at the same time. Or if you play it, then it's a kind of 300, 400 hour thing. Yes. So basically a Guitar Hero where you can write your own Guitar Hero songs. But who's going to play that? And it takes far too much time. You just saw like a 1 minute song might be considered a little on the short side, but yeah, that took me 1.5 hours. Not quite, okay, let's say 1 hour. About 1 hour. I did talk before and after and so on. So, okay, 1 hour of songwriting per song. In order to get anywhere in this game, you will have to write about 100 songs. That is 100 hours. You don't have that many different clips either. So that means they will all kind of sound the same, and you will lose motivation very, very quickly when writing these songs. And then you have basically Guitar Hero, Keyboard Hero on top of this, and you are supposed to play it with your every time you have a play session, or maybe just the important ones. But I assume this is the true meaning of the rehearsal in the game. It's kind of game mechanic that breaks the other things. But let's try it out before we talk too much about this. Resume. And we have the upcoming thing. I did put it onto auto strumming because I'm not going to hit enter as well. Okay. Record? Simulate or record? Time to rehearse. Record. Okay. Okay. Well, this is interesting. So I assume this is just a standard Guitar Hero-esque thing. We can choose the instrument, drums or guitar. Why not bass? Because there's a lot of bass in this one too. Okay, let's start. What the fuck? Okay, 4, 2, 3. Okay. Oh shit! This is fucking hard if you have never played it. Yeah, I would have to practice that. Oh, wrong keys. But okay, it is pretty, like, just looking at the layout, it is pretty good. Yeah, okay. Well, that was not so good. So bandmate performance, and what does the do? Rehearsal experience. We got 2%. Completely failed in. But okay. So the mapping of the songs onto the Guitar Hero stuff, I'm pleasantly surprised. That looked alright. So if I didn't have to stretch my hand forwards in an awkward position for like half a meter away from me, then that might work out with a bit of practice and learning the songs too. There's of course no slow mode. There's no way to actively learn these songs apart from rehearsing them like this, where you lose money in order to do so. So I don't quite know if that is a good mechanic if combined with like 1 hour plus of actually composing the songs. And here we have the great dichotomy. So now that we have seen this, what this game actually has to offer if you play it in a very different way, then I would say, why did they put that in? So basically you have a very shallow tycoon part with very linear progressions or even exponential progressions when it comes to the fans. Not quite, slightly exponential. And it's very, very easy because the band member, there's just no mechanics that hold you from success. There's not much decision making. All decisions that you are making are more or less forced because of the game mechanics. For instance, the tension between the band members, like I mentioned before. That is, you have to deal with that in a certain way because all the other ways don't really make sense. Maybe later on they do make sense, or if you have band members that have issues like drug addicts and whatnot. But why would you get them in the first place? For the role-playing? Yeah, maybe I can see that, but... So okay, the big dichotomy I see here is they made 2 games instead of 1. They made a Guitar Hero game where you can compose your own songs. That is nice. That is nice. And then they made a Tycoon game, not quite shallow, very shallow one, that has a very good theme overall, but no depth to it. And I wonder what would have happened if they had skipped the whole thing we just saw this episode, with our band members composing a song, putting the parts together to make a song that sounds meh, maybe solid. Maybe I made something solid. I will see it on the ratings of this video specifically, I guess, compared to the viewer numbers. But what would the game have been like if they had just said, okay, that is a cool feature, but that is way outside the scope of the game. Rather than having 2 games in one, we make one good one. So you could have had like a much reduced Tycoon part, where you just try to make albums and sell them, and don't have the traveling around much. Maybe fewer locations overall where you can play, and just toned it down a bit. Like, don't have the rent aspect, and yeah, just simplify this even more. It is very simple as is, but it could be simplified even more. Make a do-it-yourself Rockstar Guitar Hero game, and I think they would have fared a little better doing that route. But also, I think it would have been much better to go the other direction. But that might be personal taste, of course, because I'm a Tycoon guy, right? And that would be skip this whole song composing thing. Just cut it out completely. It's not necessary, and it's not part of the core game mechanic. The core game mechanic is the one that you engage in first, and that is building up your band. And that is part of the Tycoon part. So what I would like to liken this to is, why can't you drive cars in automation? The simple answer to that question is because it doesn't fit into the game. It would be a half-assed driving game and a half-assed Tycoon game at best if we did that. Both shit, and it would fall flat on its nose. You have to focus on one part in your game design. And we are focusing all out on the part that very few people have done before. Just like this one, some have tried, but every single one of these games I've played so far, I've played several, can't remember their names because they were forgettable. Every single one of them has fallen flat. And that is because they just don't deliver properly on the Tycoon aspects. And that is mainly due to them relying too much on the theme of the game, which is very strong. This is awesome. But why do you... like, even the character customization, that is too much for a Tycoon game. It is the exact right amount for a let's be your own Guitar Hero game, right? That fits much better into that. There's just this break in between. And another good example is the classic, when it comes to automation, the classic, what was it called, Old Timer. You could drive your cars in Old Timer. Have you played that game? Ancient Old Timer game. You could drive your cars. Guess how many times I did that before I threw it to the side? Twice, maybe 3 times. I drove the car, and then I noticed, well, this has nothing to do with the game itself. So either you play the game or you drive the car. And it's like, yeah, but that is not how it's supposed to be, right? Yeah, but the devs spent tons of time to implement the shitty driving game. So that is actual gameplay lost in the Tycoon part. And I see this game is suffering from the exact same thing. Just imagine throwing out all the composition stuff and all the things that go along with it, the complete Guitar Hero thing. And just focus on making the Tycoon part better. What could have been in that case? And I would like you to ponder that and comment in the comment section down below. And also say if you liked my song or not. As Ravages of Time sure has well, probably the name was the best of the song, and in total, yeah, that was the best part of the song. Anyway, I think this is enough ranting for today. I think I got across my point here, why this is not a wise decision overall. It seems like split personality for a game. And whenever I design a game, I try to make it as focused as possible. Everything should be adapted to the core game mechanic of the game. And in this game, I see the core game mechanic to be the Tycoon part. Even though if you start playing the Guitar Hero part, it seems like they thought differently. The big thing here is that this cannot work both at the same time. It is a classic example of, oh hey, this sounds cool, let's make that optional. And making mechanics optional It's basically the death sentence to every development, because you lose your focus and you do stuff like this. We have made it optional. It is optional to have a 400-hour experience, which no one ever will do, because it doesn't make any sense. And the thing here is, the progression of the Tycoon part is very slow. You have seen that we have written over 50 songs already in total. And just imagine doing that, writing all these songs and then learning to play them as well. That is a massive time investment. And there's not much more game to it than we had. Like, you play the shows, okay, and you may get good ratings and whatnot, but what does that help you? There's nothing, there's no reward from the Tycoon part that really makes it stand out. And yes, let's assume it very much affects your performance rating during the shows, and that makes you earn money faster and so on. So it slightly speeds, only slightly though, because that it makes it obvious, only slightly speeds up the process of getting somewhere in the campaign. It still is a massive and massively unreasonable undertaking to get to the top, while using the option of making and playing your own songs. I just had to clarify that one more time, because it's so important whenever if you ever try to design a game, focus on one core mechanic and make that really good, and then build things around it. Don't have two core mechanics which are dichotomous to each other. Anyway, I think that is enough of ranting for today. I hope you enjoyed the little design rant and the song. I hope I see all the thumbs up, and hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.